LakelandCarKeys.com. I am going to do an unboxing. I just picked up the new Lonsdor K518 Pro. So I'm going to do the unboxing on that and just do a little quick comparison of this is the K518 USA, and then I have the BSKG and the KW100, and I also have the KH100 Plus. So I'm going to try to go over a little bit of what they do, because a lot of them basically do a lot of the same things. But this is something new I seen, which comes with a few extra features that it was on sale. I decided to go ahead and grab it. The original K518 programmer has not really been, let me just say, it didn't live up to what I expected it to do. There has been a few instances where this programmer has saved me, where no other programmer in my arsenal would do what I needed to do, and then this one came out and did it. So I'm not going to say, it wasn't worth having or whatever. It just didn't live up to the expectation. I'm hoping that this new version does live up to that expectation. And like I said, with some of the new things that this is coming with, especially for Toyotas and Land Rovers and stuff like that, I think this is going to be a good upgrade to have. These two units kind of sort of do the same thing. Therefore, the Lonsdor Universal LT Series keys, they allow you to generate the keys, but the KW100 is one step above, where it will actually allow you to do an all keys lost in the vehicle. You get in the vehicle, you press the button, and it'll the Bluetooth will detect the signal of the key that the car is looking for, and it will set the proper frequency and board type for that key, which is pretty good. The BSKG will generate the keys. You just got to know what board and frequency that you need. You would have to manually look them up, and you can select them in the app. So in the app, when you start up, it'll ask you, are you using the BSKG or the KW100? And it's pretty simple. I mean, it's self-explanatory. You could go ahead and, say if I was in the car, I would just click generate. All right, well, I got to log in here, so I'm not going to go through. But you could hit quick generate, and then it'll ask you, do you have a key to read, or is it all keys lost? So if you have a key to read, you can just put the key right on the sensing area, and it'll automatically detect what board and frequency to set it is, and then you would select the button type. So there are other videos on my YouTube page that you can go ahead and look at me doing that process. I actually did it in my personal Toyota Venza as an all keys lost. All right, so this is I'm not going to be able to pull this out one-handed, so just give me a second. I'm going to get out the box, and then we'll go over everything that it came with. All right, so inside the box, there is a packing list with the quality control pass and, packing date. And it just gives you a real quick list of everything that's included. So we got the K518 Pro, the main unit, which is here in this box. Power adapter, acquisition antenna, Type-C USB cable, some extra connectors, the OBD2 DLC connector, certificate manual, packing bag, and then it comes with two LT20 smart keys, the Toyota FP30 cable, that's to back up the emo data for Toyotas, and then a Nissan 40-pin BCM cable, which is to pull a BCM pin on some of the newer Nissans. It has a JLR cable for Jaguar Land Rover, and a JCD 2-in-1 cable, which I believe that might be something for Jaguar. I'm not sure exactly what that is. And then the ADP 15 adapter, which again, I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I will be able to go back and look at them as we pull them out. All right, so this is the main K518 Pro unit. All right, so it's very similar to the older unit. You know, the design is a little bit different, but the layout and everything is pretty much the same. So from left to right up top, you got a USB Type-C connection, TF card, we call it micro SD, DC volt input, your DB15 cable connector, a PS2 connector. Oh, actually, sorry, this one is the DC 12 volt. I'm not sure. This says L-207, so that might be for a different adapter, and a power button. So if you look on the old one, we have a little bit less. So we have, this is a 12 volt connector here. And then we have, I believe this is a DB25 cable. And then we have the older style USB connection and one SD card. So this older 518 USA, straight out the box, it wouldn't charge plugged in. I don't know, you know, I used the charger that came with it on other devices, and the charger seemed to work, and I was never able to plug this one and charge it. So whenever you use the OBD2 cable and plug it into the DLC on the car, it would charge, and I always charged it that way. Something happened recently where the internal battery on this actually died, but right before that, I was able to start charging from the charging port, and once I was able to do that, the internal battery died. So I'm gonna order a replacement internal battery for this one, but yeah, it had some weird things going from the jump, but yeah, so if I unhook that external power, it's gonna die immediately. So the battery's not holding any charge, but plugged in, it was saying I was 100%. That's okay. I am gonna leave this one in the shop and just use it as a bench device for some other things that I may need to do. And this new unit will be what goes out on the road with me. So we'll get this powered up. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do, you know, the registration, login, a bunch of updates or whatever. But all right, so that came in its box. So the original did have a case like this, and I should have kept it in the case, but I had, the way I had my van set up, I had all my programmers on a rack, and yeah, so it got a little scratched up, but I will make sure to get a screen protector on this one. The old one did actually have a screen protector on it, but the case was very similar to this. It was red and black, but it came with a whole lot less accessories. So basically, once I pull all these accessories out of here, I can go ahead and store that unit in this back part. All right, and then these are all the adapters. I got tons and tons of adapters that came with all my programmers that I never use. I got them all in a box inside of inside the van. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside. But very nice, not leather, but some material. Very nice carrying case. Keep it protected. All right, so these are a bunch of the accessories that came in it. I believe this is the Nissan 40 pin BCM cable. All right, so I was gonna buy one of these separately not too long ago, and I was glad to see that it actually came with the K518 Pro. So, you know, with all the extra accessories it gave me, plus it being on sale, it was a pretty good deal. All right, so this has a DLC connector which has two probes, a positive and negative, coming out, and two probes that looks like They got pinch wires. I'm not 100% exactly sure what this is exactly for, but it might be. All right, so this says Jaguar Land Rover, so that answers that. Something you have to do when you're doing Jaguar Land Rover, but it may possibly also help with the probes and whatnot for diagnosing maybe CAN bus issues. So yeah, this is for Jaguar Land Rover. Alright, so the next cable we have here is, it looks like it just has an adapter with two metal prongs, which I'm going to assume, alright, so this is a JCD. It's, alright, so that's Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge. Excuse me. So these two probes are what you would probe into the Starlink connector to bypass for 2018 plus Daimler Chrysler vehicles. We have the ADC 2011 cable, so we won't necessarily need this, but it'd be good for a backup. So that's what the JCD was. It was Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge. All right, and then this. All right. So that's part 2 of the cable that connects here. So this is Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge also, and this is the exact cable that would plug into that Starlink cable. So this is pretty much what the what the ADC 2011 would be. However, it doesn't look like, I know my ADC has 2 plugs, one to plug directly into the unit, one to plug into the DLC, and then another to plug in. It has 3 heads on it. I'll show you later, but basically most of the time when I use it, depending on where the star connector is, I might have to run an extension to get power from the OBD2 port. So it'll be interesting to see if I can use this one, and it looks like it might just run in line of the original cable for this to get power. So it looks like it's pretty much going to do the same thing, but I'm going to have to double check on that. Alright, so FP30, this is a Toyota cable for getting, if you need to back up the emo data for all keys lost on Toyota Smart Keys. So some programmers will let you, depending on the model, back up the emo data by OBD. And sometimes you need to do it directly from the OBD Smart Box. And when you do it from the OBD Smart Box, basically you need this cable to tie in. There's a female in here and then a male. So you have both the female and the male ends, and basically what you would do is you would unplug all the connectors off the Smart Box, and that, I believe it's a 30-pin connector that's originally on the car harness. You plug into the female side of this, and then you plug the male side back into the box, and you connect this DLC connector to your main connector coming out of the 512, and it will power up the unit and back up the emo data. So that's very handy. And then this looks like our main DLC cable for the unit, which feels kind of hollow, so it's probably not a lot really in there, but that's a little bit different than the one that originally came on the 518 USA. Alright, so I got that cable hooked into there, and these are the rest of the things that came with in the next bag. So this is the ADP15, which is, I believe this is for the Toyota authorization, so that you don't need that PIN code, you don't need to contact a third party to get the rolling code, which is a 2-part process. This allows you to be able to bypass that and bypass the rolling code. It comes with 2 different cable adapters for the different smart boxes. One's an FP24, which has this connector which connects into the side of there, and then this will plug in line and the cable would go there. And then there's a FP27, which is a 27 pin cable. So I'm gonna have to go and look up to see if I can find a chart anywhere of all the different Toyota smart boxes, so I can kind of have an idea of what I would expect to find in certain models, to know, before I get there, I don't have to guess which cable I need. I will know right off the top which cable to grab. And then it also came with 2 LT20-01 smart keys. I absolutely love these keys, and I'm going to let you know right now. Like I said, I wasn't super thrilled about my K518 USA, but these Lonsdor LT series smart keys have worked so well with Toyotas. That is what actually pushed me over the edge and said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy the K518 Pro. I've used a lot of aftermarket Toyota keys, and really a lot of them, some of them don't even work, especially on the newer Toyotas. Some will start the car up and the remote buttons won't work, and some work and then the battery dies within a month in the key. And I know I've used these personally on my car. And when I say aftermarket keys, I'm not talking about universal. So I'm not talking about the X-Horse XM38. Those are pretty decent. But that's a whole nother story. Even on my personal Venza, when I had I'm not sure, it might have been a 28 or a 38 that I had, it worked well. But anytime I used it, my factory key, when I go to use my factory key after, I would have to press the key up to the start button and resync it. So there was something wrong going in there. I don't know if it was something in the programming or just maybe that key was full bar. But I switched from the X-Horse to the Lonsdor, and this key has worked flawless on my personal vehicle. I've had it for about 4 months now with 0 issues. Like I said, if I had used a random aftermarket key that I had for 2 years prior, within 2 months the battery would have been dead. So yep, so these just take a basic 2032 coin battery. You just pop it in there and put it in the sensing area and generate, and then you would program it as, once it's generated, you could program it as a regular key with any programmer that can program that vehicle. So a lot of times I might do this, and I might have my Autel handy, my KM100, and just make a real simple key programming process. For things that are going to be all keys lost, that I'm going to need that Toyota rolling code, and maybe get the authorization package and bypass it, I will definitely default to using the Lonsdor. So yep, I just wanted to show you that. This is awesome. I actually needed some of these. I was all out, so I got 2 in the package. And then these are your basic different car connections. In the 5 years plus that I've been programming keys, I've never ran into a situation where I needed one of these. I know they do come up, but just personally, I have not ran into that situation where I needed one of those, and I have plenty of these. I'm sure every programmer that comes with something like this, they're all the same. They're all wired, pinned out the same. And this is the actual 12-volt adapter that came with this. So the output is 12 volts at 200 milliamps, which I believe that would equate to a 2 amp output. So that will go in the carrying case to be in the road. And then this looks like. Alright, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to have to go back and double check, but this looks like it might be the analog key or some sort. So it's definitely some type of antenna. I'm going to assume that I plug it into that jack that I originally thought was the 12-volt power input, and this might be for, doing all keys lost on, say, Toyotas that I backed up the emo data. It would read the original keys that are already in the system. It would grab one key and allow you to create an analog key. And basically you would use this. You would press it on the button as if it was the key, turn the car on, and then select the add a key option to add in the new key that you have ready to add in. Alright. And then this is just your basic USB-C cable. I'm sure I can do something like connect this to one of these units, which I don't think I would ever need to do that. So I'm not sure which way this slides, but I'll get that open. But this is its own key sensing area on the K518 Pro. So give me a second. I'm going to go in, get logged in, and we could just go through some of the features real quick on this. Alright, so bear with me as I figure out how to power this on. I am going to do a walkthrough of the initial setup, and then as I just put my personal information in, I will cut the video. But there is also a note here that it says this device will come with 2-year annual subscription, which is pretty awesome. It sucks having to pay subscriptions every year. So hopefully, by the time that 2 years come up and it's time to renew it, either I can upgrade to a new machine and get 2 years again, or something happens like the old 518. These are now lifetime updates, so you can do the updates, but I don't believe you have all the online access that you would have on a device with active subscription. Alright, so here we are loaded. First thing we gotta do is we gotta go get into our network settings. Let's go ahead and let's see. Alright, so I'm not gonna be able to see the top screen with that. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn Wi-Fi on. Alright, and we are connected. I'm going to go ahead and back out of that. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to go in and we're going to go ahead and do Alright, so just give me a couple seconds. I'm going to put in my information and get past this part. So I got to put in my email and my password. It's going to email me a verification code. I got to put in a verification code and then hit OK, and it will sync it to my account. So I went ahead and did the registration process, and it tells me that it sent the information to Lonsdor, and it could take 5 to 30 minutes for someone to confirm. This is the weekend, and I'm sure it's the middle of the night in China right now, so I don't expect it to be all too fast. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for my activation to come back, I am going ahead and I'm going to do all the system updates. And once I get it going again, I'll continue the video and just do a real quick walkthrough of the main unit. Alright, so we're getting towards the end of these updates. It's probably been about 45 minutes or so. Alright, this should be the last couple of pages updating. But I have not seen the verification for my subscription that was supposed to come through within 5 to 30 minutes. So once this is done, I'll go back and try to see if I can pull it up on the computer, on the scanner, on the programmer. And if it is, I'll do the walkthrough. If not, I'll have to come back tomorrow or possibly later on tonight and do that walkthrough for you. Alright, so right now it's getting ready to do something that's install ACM. Not sure what that is, but this is why we set it up inside, and for that initial setup, let it do all the updates, let it do all the installs, make sure it binds everything to your account, and make sure everything's good to go, so when you're out on the road and you don't get stuck and something's not working or something's not activated, just take the time and go through it and make sure everything's good. Alright, so the update finished. It did an install of the APK, and now it's trying to do the registration verification, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my password and see if it lets us in. And our registration is still under review. So like I said, it's the middle of the night in China over the weekend, so who knows, it could be hours before it actually activates, so I'll come back once it's up and running. Alright, so I just hit the refresh button, and I guess it was already in there. It told me my account was activated, and so it's initializing the menu. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but so if you're doing the activation and it's still telling you to wait the 5 to 30 minutes, just go ahead and hit that refresh button. If it's been more than 30 minutes, I guess it doesn't automatically tell you that it's there, but when I hit refresh, it was instantly there. So now I'm just going to go through the rest of this setup so that we can do the walkthrough of the main page. Alright, and here it is. So we got everything set up, and on our main page we got emo and remote, odometer adjustment, generate remote smart key, adapter, special functions, settings, one-click update, after sales feedback, and push function. And then down the bottom we got identify and copy, remote frequency, generate key chip, access cards, edit data, which I believe is just like a hex editor, detect coil ignition, which might be what that little antenna was for, to detect the ignition coil, right to start and update log, and inside the little key sensing area, that there is a slot down there, so you could put a whole key down, or there's a little slot you could put a chip in if you're just programming a chip. Alright, so for odometer adjustments, it's not a lot of vehicles, but there are some vehicles that it will go in. I know in my other unit I looked at Ford, because I was actually asked to do an F-150 for a shop that was doing a cluster swap, but of course it wasn't in there. So, and under Ford we got EcoSport, Explorer, Fiesta, Focus, Kunga, Mondeo, and S-Max. So it looks like a bunch of the quote-unquote European style Fords are in there. But yeah, there are some. We got a bunch of Kias that'll do. Hyundais. So Accent and Elantra, the AD, I'm not sure what year that is, and the Sonata 9. Alright. So then remote key generate. So this is what I was telling you with the 2 wireless modules and the phone app that I can do, but So let's say if we go generate smart key for, so the Americas is going to give us these American keys. I'm not sure of any of these Chinese model cars. Alright. This is, so I'm not sure with the Lonsdor, which remotes it's saying that it could generate these keys for. Maybe the LT series keys will work with this, or there might be another key that will generate, well, let's say if I pick Nissan. So if you know, definitely leave me a message down in the comment what key I can use to generate these cars. But this looks like all stuff that we don't even have in the United States. Oh, we got Murano. Alright, so yeah, it doesn't even tell us what key to use. Alright, so get out of there. Alright, so identify and copy. Alright, so this is looking to copy a chip. I'm not sure which chips this work with, but once I do figure out all the different models and chips and stuff it'll work with, I'll make a quick short video on what this can copy and generate. But just as of right now, I'm just going through, some of the different so this remote frequency, I believe, we'll just do frequency detection. I think this is a new key. Actually, that one of those LT smart keys I haven't generated as anything yet, but I did put a battery in it and put it in the case. So that doesn't seem to be doing anything. So I wonder if I need that antenna. Of course, I put all that stuff away already. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to have to play with this and figure out where everything is put in, because I'm not used to, even on the older unit, I didn't use it a lot for, other things, so this will be my first time. But from the main screen, obviously, you got your emo and remote for your programming, odometer adjustment, generate remote smart key. That is not the setup for the LT20 smart keys. Your adapter to bind it. I noticed that this setup did not come with the external adapter for some of the EEPROM stuff that K518 did. I don't remember if I actually binded that to the unit, so I'll try on this one to see if it allows me to bind it to this unit. Special functions, settings, one-click update. So when there's an update available, I can just click here and it'll update. And if I want to send feedback back to Lonsdor, or I'm not sure what the push notification does, but if I do want to see what has been done in the updates, there's an update log here. And I can see all the different vehicles that they did updates for, and the last update was May 15th. Today's the 18th, so this was 3 days ago. And then before that was May 6th. It looks like they updated a bunch of Jeep stuff. April 29th, more Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep stuff. And the 27th, they did Fiat, Opel, Alfa Romeo. And then back on the 15th of April, a lot more Dodge stuff, a bunch of different regions. And on April 8th, there was BMW, EWS, some Chinese modules, and Peugeots. So they've been working on a lot of updates here. So that's good. That the unit is reaching out to a lot of different other cars. And like I said, once I fully have time to go through this, I'll make a real short video, say less than 10 minutes, on just walking through some of the features and going. Because right now I'm kind of guessing, going through stuff, and there's not a lot of answers. So I'll have to do some research. But yep, I just wanted to give you a real quick unboxing. I'm sorry, it wasn't quick, but unboxing. So showing you what the unit came with, what was required for setting up, getting going, and now that it's up, it's ready to work. I will continue with other videos on different features and procedures that this has. So if you have one of the Lonsdor K518 Pros, definitely leave me a comment down in the comments below and let me know what it does best, what works best for you, and when you decide to use this, say over one of the Autels or OBD Stars or whatever program that you mainly use, what would make you, what vehicles would make you say, hey, I want to grab this Lonsdor. Alright, thanks for watching. LakelandCarKeys.com. Comment, subscribe. There'll definitely be plenty more videos coming up on all the different Lonsdor products that I do have. Alright, thank you. Alright, and this is the Lonsdor Prog 2 that came with my original 518 USA, which has this Prog 2 programmer adapter, a ribbon connection cable, and then there are two, looks like solderless adapters. This one's RN01. I'm not sure exactly what these go to. I think one of them I looked up did some type of Volvo, and this is a FS01. Again, looks like some type of solderless pin adapter, but I'm not exactly sure what this one goes to. And then there's just an EEPROM programming board, some extra pins. But here's the thing, so this one connects smaller, possibly DB15 to DB25, and then the DB25 went on the top of the unit, whereas the new one does not have a DB25. So I'm not sure if there is a cable, a DB15 to DB15 that I can use the Prog 2 with the K518 Pro. I'd have to look into that again, and I don't remember if I ever binded this to that unit. I've never used it, so if it's not bound to that unit, I'd like to get the cable and bind it to the new one. All right.